everyone, it's Megan from SMB TV, and we have another installment of our COVID series today. We are speaking with Matt and Lani Williams from Bones MMA, which is located in Torquay on the Surf Coast in Victoria. Hi guys, and thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us, Megan.
I was just saying, I love the background. That's just so perfect, obviously, for what you do, but it's just a bit more fun than the standard sit at a desk and talk. So that's going to be really cool. All right. So can you please give us an overview of your background? What got you into, I guess, being so, obviously you were physical, then did it transition into MMA, or did you do other things? So you kind of a background about you guys and then transitioning that into a business.
Mm-hmm. So my background, I don't really have a background in health and fitness. It just happened by chance. So I got into martial arts, specifically Muay Thai, because I wanted to get fit after having our son. So 6 years ago when I had our first kid, I pretty much wanted something to do that was going to get me back in shape. And that was just basically.
There's every mother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was just about finding something that I actually enjoy doing. And my husband happened to do MMA. So we just basically had a hit out and I just started boxing. So from there, it just progressed. So that was the progression for me.
Yeah, my background isn't in, didn't originate in health and fitness either. I've done like many trades, but spent the majority of kind of my adult working years working in youth justice with young people.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, and like a myriad of roles, so many of which have kind of have transferable skills actually over to gym, certainly in terms of you know, people management, but you know, understanding what people need and being able to provide them with all the auxiliary stuff to martial arts. And I kind of rediscovered martial arts after a long period of time, and for me, it was more of a opportunity to kind of you know, decompress and have a sanctuary outside of the youth work, which can be pretty heavy stuff.
I was going to say, yeah, that'd be pretty intense.
Yeah, it is, and through that, kind of really found a passion for it, and felt that I really had something to offer in terms of you know, working with people within the forum of a gym. I found it's quite a unique space to be able to work with young people and adults alike. You know, a lot of the metaphors are there in martial arts that exist within youth work. You know, like pick yourself up off the mat, have someone in your corner, you know, roll with the punches, those kinds of things.
Okay, yeah, hadn't thought of that, but perfect.
Yeah, they're awesome, and like especially young men, they really get them and gravitate towards them. And when we moved, I also had another business which was consulting to the youth work and field and child protection space. And when we moved down to Torquay, we recognised that there was no gym here for us to train, and that kind of aligned with our own personal set of values. And you know, B, like if we introduced that, there was A, massive service gap, but B, maybe I could start to have those types of conversations that I was having in the youth space within the context of a gym. So that's what led us to starting this about a year ago now.
A year? Is that all you've been doing it for? It seems like you've been around.
Exactly a year.
Wow. Oh, wow. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And so oh my goodness, so that was probably only 9 months of full operation 10 months before COVID hit?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I guess 9 or 10 months before we had to close everything up, we celebrated our first birthday during lockdown.
Oh.
And the first year was really, because we, like me and Lani are both, when we decide we're going to do something, we move pretty quickly. And often we figure it out as we go. That's been our style in creating many of our businesses, and it's been probably the key ingredient to our success, both in business but also in being happy in life. 100%. And the first 9 months was largely about kind of figuring out the best way to do things as we went. And we're new to the community, so kind of figuring out how we could best serve the community, and kind of shaping and molding it as we go. And I think kind of only now after 12 months, we've kind of really realised what the best fit is for our business here and the best model.
Well, I can just say, like, as I am wearing one of your tops, my son attends your gym, and I know from when I think he started going quite early on, and I know, reputationally, it's grown and grown. That's why I was kind of shocked at only a year, because I know the talk around town, and with all his mates and my daughter's friends who are all that kind of, Lachlan's 23, Millie's 20. I know that your name is already synonymous with, you know, the gym, which, so after a year of, and really not even a year, that's pretty big impact in a small town. Not that we're small, but, you know, like,
it's a small town though, and in small towns the news travels fast. So I guess when you're passionate,
good or bad.
Good or bad. Thankfully for us, it was all good.
So tell me about starting to hear about COVID on the news, and your brains must have just been going overtime, as you know, we were kind of given bits and pieces of information each day, and sometimes it contradicted, and leading to the full lockdown. How did you guys cope, and what was going through your minds?
Look, we're pretty connected within the martial art community in Australia. So there's a lot of networks that exist. A lot of them are on social media of gym owners and trainers and students for that matter. And, you know, the discussion boards are pretty active. And there's some big personalities as well within the community. And there was pretty early on, even before the government started imposing restrictions on businesses, businesses were already starting to close voluntarily. Okay. And there was kind of this domino effect of them. Some of the big affiliates in Melbourne started closing, and, you know, the flavour of the social media that was coming out of those places was kind of encouraging other places to do so as well. So there was kind of three factors at play that we had to consider. One was, planning for, imposed government restrictions and what that might look like, how we would accommodate for looking after our staff and our students and business. There was, pressure about how we respond to the martial arts kind of community's expectations as well. Yep. And you know, how our own personal biases, kind of could, how we'd have to weigh up our own personal biases and the requirements of our family in terms of income and stuff. So there was a lot of
reality,
real period of uncertainty. It was very difficult to plan for, given that there was so much, the details were so murky, and it was really tricky. And we've got quite a lot of young staff who work here. We've got a gym manager. She's just come on board recently. And we've got some young coaches, and trying to give them peace of mind that they would be looked after without, in the back of our minds, what would happen was really tricky. Yeah.
So practically, you did have to shut down. And did you keep doing anything like remotely?
Yep. Yeah.
Like, so I guess, how did you keep engaged with your client base?
And that was the most important thing during the lockdown as well, is to keep our members engaged.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had to shut our doors, but we could still keep that via social media and our Facebook pages and via email. Everything basically pivoted to online content. And although we couldn't have our members in here, we could have our coaches. So we still ran online content as much as we could every day, basically 6 days a week. And that was really cool for the beginning, and to keep people, whether people were doing the workouts was irrelevant. It was just staying connected with them.
Absolutely.
And with us. Yeah, and providing them that content if they can and want to do it, it's there. But it was more about just staying together in this world where we couldn't physically be together.
Yeah. I think a lot of people come to gyms for all kinds of different reasons. I think people often originally come to a gym to learn martial arts and to be physical, and you know, the benefits that come from that. But I think essentially they stay for, you know, the sense of community and what they derive from.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think even more importantly than providing online classes, as Lani says, it was that sense of connection, but it was also keeping messages in terms of, you know, the types of conversations we have when they're in here around, you know, being a supportive community and, you know, one that looks after one another, one that has a sense of fun. So, you know, there was some of the things we're doing interviews much like this, but in a very kind of jovial, fun way, and posting those, so people were still getting laughs, they were still seeing one another's faces, not just ours, and that seemed like that kept people pretty well connected online. It worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think people might come, like you said, for the fitness, I need to get fit, or I'm interested in that, but the social and the mental impact, I think, is something that they don't comprehend, that is going to change their life even more so than just the physicality.
Yeah, consistency is so important to, so, you know, consistency in routine is such an important component of mental health and physical health, of course. And we had a lot of young people in particular who had been doing really well to make this gym part of their consistent routine, and we were considerate of the fact that that had just been cut off, and the you know, the cause and effect of that. So it was, you know, it was really important for us to try and be consistent and kind of keep some momentum up in that regard, so we can kind of sustain it beyond COVID when they start returning. Yeah,
absolutely. So could you just give us a rundown of the different activities, I don't know what the correct word is, that you offer?
When it's open, when the gym's open?
When it's open, yep.
We do Muay Thai, MMA grappling, and conditioning, I guess, would be the three main components. Last year, our focus was a little bit different. We did some kickboxing, and now we're focusing on more MMA, striking, and Muay Thai, as well as conditioning. So we do HIIT classes as well. Okay. And they would probably be the three. So MMA, Muay Thai, and strength and conditioning. So
Muay Thai is it's like, sometimes I feel like everyone knows what Muay Thai is. But
yeah, sorry.
So it's the national sport of Thailand. So you'll probably be able to see in the background, there's a lot of Thai Buddhist culture influence in the gym. And, you know, a lot of some of the videos on our website are of a Thai Buddhist monk coming and blessing a lot of the values are, you know,
just coming
through Buddhist culture. G'day, hey buddy.
I can't hear you. Well, I'll see you at the gym at 12.
He said he'll see you at 12.
Yes, that's good. So that's Muay Thai, and that's so a lot of people come for that. So we do some other things as well. So we're really connected and have a good relationship with the local high school, Surfco Secondary.
Okay.
They bring groups of young people over for excursion programs.
Okay, awesome.
We've got
Is that part of their PE program, or, sorry, did you say?
It's an elective.
Oh, yep. An elective, okay.
Yeah, and then we have, we run some programs with their health and wellbeing coordinator. We're groups of young people who stand to benefit from the types of activities we do here, but the types of conversations we can have. They come over once a week and we sit in the ring behind us, and we talk about topics that are relevant to them off the back of a physical session. And we do some stuff with the local council as well, some programs for young people. So
and again, so it's going back to my assumption that, you know, it's not just the physicality, it's the mental and the social part that bring it all together that make it so potent.
Yeah, I think so.
Exactly.
That's really cool. And again, like what you've done in a year under these conditions has to be a testament to the way you run your business. So it's really brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, like we've got, we've run businesses together in the past, so we've got a pretty good understanding of who does what best. And we've kind of slipped into roles, you know, within the gym that are quite complementary. And Lani's really good at running business. She's got a very successful jewelry business in Melbourne called Windfall Jewelry, you know, with a bunch of staff as well. So she's really business-minded, orientated, and really takes up that portfolio within the gym, and you know, works really closely with our gym manager. And then I kind of take on the you know, the people side of things, and that's where I'm best served. And I think together, though, our various skill sets have allowed us to kind of, you know, working in tandem with one another to move quite quickly, as opposed to what one person might have been.
Yeah. Well, I love that because my husband and I ran our businesses for years together, and it kind of the same. I was the business, and he's definitely a people person more so than me. But yes, so I like that. And people say, "How could you work with your husband?" But I actually miss that we don't now. It's you. I think you can do it or you can't do it, and it's great when you can.
Work and it's complementary. It works really well.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so when we're filming this, I think it's the 19th of June, 2020. So what's happening? What's your trajectory from this kind of point in time?
Well, the countdown is on now. We are finally allowed to reopen the gym come Monday. So we are just getting everything together. So it feels like a really long wait for us. I don't know, 3 months maybe we've been waiting for this. So I was literally, before we jumped on this chat, I was just going through our bookings and making sure that everything is going to work really smoothly for next week. Yeah.
So it's back to full, or like what are the conditions of reopening?
Limited capacity.
Yeah.
It will be 10 people per session. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's limited. We're going to basically ramp up the amount of sessions we do.
Okay. Yep.
Get in the doors. So 10 people once a session. We're going to modify the timetable and modify the session slightly.
Megan, the advice from the government has been incredibly murky, and there's been and there's really room for kind of subjective interpretation of the guidelines, which is not what you want when there's, you know, say a $10,000 fine for small businesses on the line.
Oh, that's nasty.
Especially the fitness industry, it's so nuanced. There's so many different little niches that sit within it, you know, and even within a gym like ours, so a martial arts gym, that from a small, you know, kind of community-based, family-run gym like ours to the larger facilities, which are 24 hours a day, and there's so many, you know, the business models are very different. What they offer is very different. So I can see why the government's put these large, big blanket bans across restrictions and across everything. But it makes it very tricky for a business like ours to... Yeah,
I can imagine that.
Yeah, to even navigate the return. So
Isn't
we're treating...
that government anyway?
Yes.
Sorry.
So we're treating very delicately and taking, you know, even the opportunity to reopen as a blessing and easing back into it.
Yeah.
What we're continuing with is a membership base, you know, student base that are like chomping at the bit to get back in.
Yes, I can testify for that. For my son and the boys who are always around here, it's a topic of conversation. How long?
That's right. And we have created a bit of, you know, we've created a bit of hype recently to to motivate people. And that was a pretty big call. We actually rebranded after a year, which is, usually on a business sense, it's not always the best idea, but we felt that given the extraordinary circumstances that we really create some excitement about people coming back, even though it was a small change. And it's been really, really positive. It's got a lot of people more kind of intrigued and interested who hadn't heard of us before and wanting to get involved. So a lot of people have been front door on the day.
Well, I know, like I said, I'm wearing the new top, and I know Lachlan has some shorts ordered that he said that he'll be getting. So he's pretty excited by that. And again, I love, referrals and word of mouth are the most powerful social proof and cheapest also way to grow your business. And that's really happening with you guys. Obviously, it's so well deserved. So that's really cool.
Thank you.
All right. So I have a couple of questions that I've been asking everybody. And you've kind of touched on your personalities. So maybe think of this in the context of all the businesses you've had. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start up their own business?
For me, it was, it's to start up a business that you're passionate about. I know that sounds cliche, but especially like the first year of business, there's often a lot of work and a lot of kind of unseen hours on the laptop late at night. Early mornings, things go wrong, and inevitably setbacks, i.e., COVID. And if
you can plan for that.
But having something that you're passionate about and from which you derive, meaningful purpose, not just, financial returns, allows you to, to remain motivated, resolute, and goal orientated. And for us, I think, especially in the context of this gym, starting our own business and something that we're incredibly passionate about, it doesn't feel like work. And it's a pleasure to be here. So that makes it really easy. And so you probably say the same thing for your other businesses.
Oh, absolutely. I think you've got to be passionate and have the right intention. The intention's got to be spot on for your business, and whether that intention is to create something that you love, then I think that all the hard work eventually will pay off. I think you just got to be prepared to work harder than you would for someone else. And we do it because we love it.
Yeah.
So like me and Lani, and I touched on that when I mentioned that me and Lani have always been go-getters. So we don't rush in. Like there is some consideration of risk, although we do take risk.
I understand.
But I think it would be to think not just with your head, just consider every possible risk and be kind of bogged down in the books, but think with, your head and your heart and your gut. I think if you think with all of those things and instill some trust in things like your gut and your heart, then you'll probably come out making the right decision in the end.
You have to have the perfect combination of all of those. Otherwise, you start to psych yourself out.
Yeah, I was just thinking, thinking of a couple of mistakes I made that 2 added up, but the gut didn't add up.
Yes.
And I didn't listen to that, and I was burnt badly. So you're right, it's that combination, absolutely. All right, well, guys, thank you so much. I think you've got a wonderful business. I've got to come down and have a look when I get permission for myself when you're up and running. Thank you for your time, and good luck next week and moving forward.
Thank you so much, Megan.
My pleasure.